A new year, a whole new set of titles waiting to punch that adrenaline dose that we just can't seem to get enough of. Action and anime, a combo that wouldn't get old no matter what. It's like the perfect match made in heaven itself. So, let's have a look at what the action genre has brought and would be bringing to the table for all the fans out there, since lightning fast bouts where blinking seems a real pain in the neck is something we can't miss out on, right? My Hero Academia 5th Season. Yeah, the title that returns every year just to have the fans do the bouts for it cause kids in the real world do it better, no? The previous season had already set the bar super high given how it showed us a whole different side to the show, while introducing faces that got us hooked on the title even more. Yes, it won't be wrong to say that this year it hasn't been popping off much considering how the arc isn't one of the best the title has up its sleeve, but isn't it a little too soon to jump to conclusions? Especially when you have an up-and-coming Shonen Jump superstar brawling it out with a plethora of titles ready to take its spot. Seeing Midoriya and the lot again is a pleasant surprise to say the very least, and all of the new additions to the show only serve as a cherry on top of the teasers that the recent episodes have been packing almost every other week. Shaman King. A blast from the past. A show that made our childhood all the better was finally returning all geared up to show these new kids how it's done. But as excited as everyone was for this title, it hasn't managed to meet the expectations of a lot of fans out there given how it's lacking in elements that made the original such a hit back in the day. Seeing Amidamaru and Asakura bring the best the spirit world has to offer is one of the best treats we'll be having the entire year, and all these other characters taking full advantage of the modern age animation gives a whole new meaning to the show we can't help but love to pieces. Brace yourselves, for we have yet to see the best the title has to offer, and with the series doing it right this time, Shaman King wouldn't be a name going down without a fight, that's for sure. World Trigger. "2021 sure has been the year where we see shows making that long-awaited comeback that we thought we wouldn't be getting at least in our lifetime. In case those 75 episodes weren't enough to quench that border thirst that the show was responsible for, the anime's return for good, and this time, things are better than ever. Follow Osamu as the organization tells us a lot more to the universe that the show is based in, all the while seeing familiar faces making us all the more excited. The slow pacing of the show is no longer there, and if that low episode count spells nothing but trouble when you see it, fret not, for the follow-up is on its way soon, since 2021 marks a year where World Trigger finally answers the expectations that fans have had ever since its debut more than 5 years ago. Dr. Stone, Stone Wars.
I'm Lillian Weinberg!
Who said an anime about science can't be interesting? As surprisingly entertaining as it was 2 years ago, Dr. Stone was back this winter to let fans have a taste of the best shonen science the anime universe has seen to date. With the title being pretty self-explanatory, if you thought that the tournament from the last season was the only adrenaline the first season had to offer, then you're in for a good one, since this season has a lot more from where that came from. How will Senku put his IQ to the best use when this time it isn't only Tsukasa on the other side? A lot of new faces to introduce, watch the good old show make an unexpected turn in this follow-up that makes sure it gets hard not to try out the experiments they conduct in that universe. Though keep in mind that they put those "don't try this at home" warnings for a reason. Megalo Box 2. This tribute to the king of the sports scene, Ashita no Joe, was a huge hit back in 2018, and we all remember how we were totally in love with the vintage anime style that gave boxing that piece it'd been missing all this while. In this sequel, Joe's back and he's nothing like we remember him to be. With the story as baffling as it gets from the get-go, it's only natural that a lot of you would be at a loss of words as to what's been going on in an anime where fight should be the main focus of the show. But you see, that's how the two in the name differed from its predecessor, being story-rich and filling in the spots that the first season lacked in my opinion. 5 years into the future, things aren't the same at all, and with all these hungry fighters itching to have a go at the championship, what could we be seeing of a bearded Joe who isn't in the best shape to say the very least? Log Horizon, Intaku Hokai.
眠りの中で大気を選択せよと。もちろん無事に帰れたかどうかは分かりません。
We all can agree that Log Horizon laid the foundation of the isekai scene back in the day, and it won't be wrong to say that it's one of the paragons of the genre, to be honest. With 2021 marking the return of so many fan favorites, it wasn't a surprise that Log Horizon's follow-up was all hyped up given how much of a letdown the second season had been a couple of years ago. Now they sure kept up that attitude, I'll give them that. But seeing our good old friend come back to the stage to perform for us once again was a treat, and the show's been shit on for no reason at all. It's not that bad, to be honest. The continuation of the series was done pretty well, and seeing Shiro's adventures with the lot reminded us of the old days for sure, making the atmosphere get enveloped with this nostalgia that we crave for when shows like this are in the equation. Be sure to check it out. That time I got reincarnated as a slime season 2.
突然何してんだこのおっさんコックあれは超高等爆炎術式ですなんでいきなりそんな
炎よ燃えよ晴れよ荒れくれ
An up-and-coming isekai superstar of the modern age, the competition's fierce, I'd say. Rimuru Tempest was a fan favorite ever since it made its debut in the first season. I mean, let's be honest, we all want a bouncy blob steal every one of that trick up their sleeve while making sure the best RPG has to offer delivers the perfect blend any anime has ever brought to the screen. This season continues just where the previous one left off, and in case you think that the first couple of episodes have been rather slow, be a little patient, for the second half is sure to exceed your expectations by a long shot. All these new faces are all the more welcome, making things a lot more interesting while the progression of the story debunks the mysteries and answers the questions we've had about the whole universe since minute 1. 86. Well, at least one title's out of the light novels that never got adapted list. As good as it was on paper, 86 the anime doesn't disappoint at all, only making everything that made the novel such a hit shine all the brighter with the production team doing a great job. Well, for the newbies out there, the first couple of episodes could be as confusing as it gets, with the anime going full throttle with the explanation game that anime characters have never been super good at. But wait and see how Mecha brings out the best your favorite characters have to offer in a story that seems simple at first, but it's only later on that you get to know what's exactly going on in this universe. One of the best military mecha blends out there, and in case you're feeling rather incomplete with the season now over, rejoice for it's returning soon, in October to be exact. Fumetsu no Anata A.
仕方ないだろうこうでもしないと僕が死んじまうよ
A huge candidate for Anime of the Year 2021, Fumetsu no Anata A is the most perfect anime we'll be getting the entire year in my opinion. Just how can an anime be this heart-wrenching and action-packed at the same time, especially when the protagonist isn't even an actual person in the first place? The best thing about the show is how it's never stagnant. It keeps adding things every other week, while explaining bit by bit the mysteries it's been introducing since the very first episode. It's been one hell of a ride so far, and I'm pretty sure we can expect a lot more from the episodes to come since that's just how these kinds of shows work, no? If you're looking for a new complete anime this year, then look no further, for this one's a perfect candidate for this title. Tokyo Revengers.
分かったよ神様俺の人生クソだって言いてえんだろ
花垣くんはきっと成功する
Steins Gate and Gang Wars? Well, isn't that a dream crossover right there? What starts as nothing but a romance done wrong soon takes everyone all in, with delinquency in high school bringing us some of the baddest punks anime has ever seen. Seeing Hanagaki make the most out of a handshake, Tokyo Man is going to see some bad days as high school kids brew all kinds of trouble for their leaders they pledge their loyalty to. What I love the most about Tokyo Revengers is how cool the characters are. Whether you're a Mikey fanboy or a Draken dude, you'll be at a war with yourself since all these other leaders would soon be coming for that spot with all that swag they come loaded with. Witness one of the best character transformations out there in an anime that executes the game concept in the best way there is.